Hey everyone, and welcomes back to channel. Janet has remained one of the most private figures in modern entertainment, a global superstar whose inner world has often been hidden behind flawless performances, carefully controlled interviews, and a calm, almost mysterious public presence. For more than 4 decades, Janet Jackson has captivated audiences with her voice, choreography, and innovation. Yet the deeper story of her life is one shaped by intense pressure, quiet resilience, emotional wounds, and an unwavering determination to protect her peace. To understand Janet's guarded nature, you have to begin at the very start, inside one of the most famous families in music history, the Jackson family. Born the youngest of 9 children in Gary, Indiana, Janet entered a household where discipline was strict, expectations were enormous, and privacy was virtually non-existent. Long before she had a chance to form her own identity, her life was already intertwined with show business. Cameras, rehearsals, touring schedules, and public scrutiny were not occasional disruptions, they were her normal. Her father, Joe Jackson, managed the family's career with an iron hand. The environment produced extraordinary success, but it also created emotional strain. Janet has hinted over the years at how intimidating and controlling that upbringing could be. As a child, she often felt overshadowed, overlooked, or defined solely by her last name rather than her individuality. The world saw a family of superstars. She experienced a childhood shaped by pressure and perfectionism. Above all loomed the global phenomenon of her brother, Michael Jackson. Their relationship was complex, loving, competitive, supportive, and, at times, painful. Janet adored him, but she also struggled with constant comparisons. Being related to the biggest pop star on Earth meant that anything she accomplished risked being minimized or attributed to family legacy rather than personal talent. She once revealed that jokes about her weight from her brothers during adolescence deeply affected her self-image, planting seeds of insecurity that would follow her for years. Before music superstardom, Janet began as a child actress appearing on popular television shows like Good Times and Different Strokes. While these roles made her a familiar face, they did not provide the creative fulfillment she longed for. Acting felt like something she was assigned rather than chosen. Even as a teenager, she dreamed of independence, of building something that belonged entirely to her. That turning point came in the mid-1980s, when she broke away from family management and took control of her career. The result was the landmark album Control, a project that was both a commercial explosion and a personal declaration. The title was literal, Janet reclaiming ownership of her voice, image, and direction. Songs about independence, self-respect, and empowerment resonated worldwide because they reflected real emotions. For the first time, audiences weren't just seeing a Jackson, they were witnessing Janet herself. But success did not erase her internal struggles. In many ways, it intensified them. Fame brought wealth, influence, and admiration, yet it also brought isolation. Trust became difficult. Every relationship could be questioned. Was it genuine affection or proximity to fame? Janet has always been naturally introverted, and global superstardom magnified that trait. While other celebrities embraced publicity, she retreated from it, revealing only carefully chosen fragments of her life. Her next major project, Rhythm Nation 1814, demonstrated not just artistic ambition, but emotional depth. The album tackled social injustice, racism, poverty, and unity themes rarely explored in mainstream pop at the time. Beneath its militaristic choreography and futuristic visuals was a message of healing, perhaps reflecting Janet's own search for meaning beyond personal pain. She wasn't just entertaining, she was trying to connect people to create something purposeful in a world that often felt harsh and divided. Throughout the 1990s, Janet continued to push boundaries with music that explored sexuality, vulnerability, and emotional honesty. Yet even as she became one of the most influential performers on the planet, she revealed surprisingly little about her personal life. She married twice in secret, keeping those relationships hidden from the public for years. This secrecy wasn't scandalous, it was protective. For Janet, privacy was survival. Behind the glamorous image, she battled loneliness and periods of depression. She has acknowledged struggles with self-esteem and body image issues that were intensified by relentless media scrutiny. As a woman in the entertainment industry, she faced impossible expectations. To be strong yet soft, sexy yet respectable, private yet accessible. Navigating those contradictions required emotional armor. Then came one of the most controversial moments in pop culture history, the 2004 Super Bowl halftime show incident. In a matter of seconds, decades of achievements were overshadowed by a wardrobe malfunction that triggered outrage, investigations, and widespread condemnation. While others involved in the performance recovered quickly, Janet faced severe professional consequences. Radio stations pulled her music networks, distanced themselves, and public discourse often painted her as solely responsible. What hurt most, according to those close to her, was not just the backlash, but the feeling of abandonment. For someone who had always maintained dignity and restraint, the experience was devastating. Yet, true to her nature, she did not lash out publicly. She withdrew, processed privately, and continued forward. Silence became both shield and coping mechanism. In the years that followed, Janet gradually rebuilt her career, releasing new music and returning to touring. Her performances retained their precision and energy, but there was also a noticeable maturity, a sense of someone who had endured hardship and emerged wiser. She no longer seemed driven by the need to prove herself. Instead, she performed from a place of quiet confidence. Motherhood brought another profound transformation. Becoming a parent later in life shifted her priorities dramatically. She stepped away from the spotlight to focus on her child, embracing a role that offered emotional grounding far removed from fame's chaos. Friends have described this period as one of deep fulfillment, for her a chance to experience unconditional love and normalcy. Despite her immense influence, Janet has never chased constant visibility. She appears when she chooses, speaks when she feels ready, and disappears when she needs space. In an era dominated by social media oversharing, this restraint feels almost radical. It reinforces the sense that her art, not her personal drama, is what she wants to leave behind. Her legacy, however, is undeniable. Janet Jackson didn't just produce hit songs, she reshaped pop performance, pioneered elaborate stage productions, and opened doors for countless artists who followed. Many of today's biggest stars cite her as a major influence, from choreography to visual storytelling to themes of empowerment. Yet she rarely boasts about these achievements. Humility, whether intentional or instinctive, remains part of her mystique. Perhaps the most powerful aspect of Janet's story is what we don't know. The untold conversations, the private grief, the quiet victories, these invisible experiences shaped the strength audiences see today. Her life reminds us that fame does not erase vulnerability. If anything, it magnifies it. Janet Jackson stands as proof that you can be both iconic and human, powerful and fragile, public and deeply private at the same time. Her silence is not emptiness, it is intention. It is the boundary that allowed her to survive an industry that consumes so many. In the end, her journey is not just about music or fame. It is about self-definition, the courage to decide what parts of yourself belong to the world and what parts remain sacred. Behind the dazzling costumes, the precision choreography, and the unforgettable hits is a woman who learned, often painfully, that true control isn't about dominating charts or headlines. It's about protecting your spirit. So the next time you hear one of her songs, watch one of her performances, or see her name appear again, remember that you're not just witnessing entertainment history. You're witnessing the story of resilience of a woman who faced storms behind the scenes and still found a way to shine when the curtain rose. If this story moved you, don't forget to like the video, share it with someone who loves music history, and subscribe for more deep dives into the lives behind the legends.